Hi guys, welcome to an episode of Athlete Focus on Box to Box. We are here for a special Mother's Day episode. I'm with Jeff as always, and then our guests today are
Caroline Gatimu.
and
Tinashe Gatimu.
and what do you guys do?
We rally.
You rally.
The rally.
Anyway, what? Career? Basically, okay, I am in the world of motor service provider. We do what we call the motor vehicle recovery, like when your nice cars get into accidents, when you go out, we come and recover your cars for you. I'm a mechanic by profession, so that's how it drew us into, the line of motor vehicle recovery.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then now, other than that, now you drive cars.
Yes,
Very
yes.
fast.
So when
Very
I'm
fast for fun.
not picking, when I'm not sorting you guys out who rammed into ditches or your cars have talked to you and stopped,
Yeah.
I'm a driver. I'm a safari rally driver. So we do autocross, we do RC events. Yeah, just those two. For now.
Nice. And Tina?
And I am a student in high school,
Yeah.
finishing this July. Finally. That's
But you're continuing, no? What do you mean finishing? 2
So when
years.
mother tells you, wait, you said?
I know.
You said you're finishing what?
do you feel like this has been the longest year of school ever, or like 2 years?
Like 2 years.
Like the during COVID period,
Yeah.
I don't even know. I couldn't tell the days apart. Yeah.
Must be long.
Actually, before we start, we would like, since it's Mother's Day,
Special
we'd
shout out.
like to know what's just something special about your mom.
What
Say
makes her
Happy Mother's
different?
Day.
Yeah.
And say Happy Mother's Day over here.
Happy Mother's Day. Something special. I love you, Mom.
Oh.
And I look up to you a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Oh.
Say something about your mom.
I say something about my mom.
Yeah.
Why you lost? You gave her pressure, now you lost.
No. It's because I don't know where to start. That's the thing. If I start saying everything, this episode will be about her, and not, which is honest. Even you you just talk about
just
your mom.
continue forever.
Yeah.
That's still much is
A pillar of strength. Yeah, someone to always lean on.
My best friend. Someone I can always talk to.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Emotional episodes. All right, so so you guys are here today basically because we are all, both of us, we're sports fans first of all, but we're also like motorsport fans, and we have seen what you guys have been doing in the world of rally, and we want you guys to tell us more about it, like how's it going so far, like what are you up to?
Maybe she can start. Let's start with the younger ones today.
Currently, I'm driving. I'm doing autocross before I turn 18. Then after I turn 18, I'll join rally, hopefully. Then, So I've done 3 events so far for autocross in Nakuru, in 2 seconds.
You don't know you're
You
doing.
don't know you're just driving. You just enter the car, let's go.
As long as there's a car drive. I've done 3 events so far. And, Nakuru, Kasarani, and, 2 autocross events and 1 Learners rally. And the Learners rally I was navigating Mom. And that was my first navigating race.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was a nice learning experience and a lot of fun.
It's true, you actually can't see over the
You
dashboard.
you
Mama, you
able to-
Mom, you've missed!
You're not supposed to see.
You're not supposed to see, you're supposed to be like, Mom, are you sure you've turned? You're turning left, but we're going right.
Hey, those mistakes you can't do. You can't do those mistakes. You'll end up in the bush.
The fun part was telling Mom what to do. Because like, it's the only time I can do that. So yeah.
And she listened.
Yeah, she
actually
listens.
Yes, you have to listen as a driver. Way. Yeah.
Kama kanyagi unamwambia kanyaga.
Let's go.
So how just describe to us your preparation for navigation, because I feel like most people just assume you just enter a car and
You have a
tell her,
paper.
okay, you have a paper and you read. Like what does it take for you to
Yeah.
prepare for?
So you just like learn to read the notes, the pace notes, and that's basically it. To be
Do you
honest.
actually go through the entire course before Ama?
Yes,
have
yes,
to,
you do.
So you do like a slow drive.
You do recce the day before the rally. So the driver, of course, is driving and she's calling out the notes as I'm writing them down. So those are the same notes you're going to use the day of the rally, the next day.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you write notes in a rally car?
You're going slowly at least,
Oh,
so
slowly.
as you're writing.
You
And
don't
then
write you write the day of the wrecking,
Yeah.
which is slow,
Yeah.
but you're rally.
So, like, the one thing I've seen, or like, ever since we were kids, is that there is different. For example, where it's a left turn, right? But it's not just a left turn. There are different types of
Medium,
left
fast,
turns.
slow, yes.
How many different turns are there? And how do you judge them? How do you judge a sharp from a medium? Like
Sharp
how,
is like this.
Yes, and then
Medium is like this. Long
Yeah.
carving. Yeah.
Okay, you're the navigator. You say.
Okay, so
Or can I
So-
say as the driver? You say.
okay, we can go through. So when you're starting off, it's just three major classifications. There's slow, like for example, slow left, medium left, fast left. Then now, as you continue, as you get more experience on the different degrees of the corner, there are 6 different types. So like, for example, left, okay, right 1 is a hairpin, right 2 is less of a hairpin, right 3 like that until right 6 is like a fast right, you barely break.
Yeah.
And yeah, those are the corners. Yeah.
Okay.
Good, you're learning fast.
A good teacher.
Interesting.
So, are you the one who's been teaching her like to navigate?
Well, being the first one that we did with her, well, I just taught her what to read. This is how we take it. This is the numbers we do. So yeah, basically, let me say I'm the one who taught her. And also, she's been doing a lot of wrecking with
Uncle Bengi and Uncle Mutuma.
yeah, with
Okay, Eric
Bengi
Bengi
Rally
and Peter
team.
Mutuma.
So when they go for, they participate a lot in the KNRC events. So when they go for the events, they take her. So she sits at the back and listens. That's why now she's gotten her numbering system from.
Yeah.
So she knows which is fast, left, and which has really helped. Now when she sat in the car, it wasn't a lot of jargon. She could easily
She picked it up.
translate. Yeah.
But don't you feel like, or has this happened to you? Do you ever feel like sometimes, like mom is explaining something and then she just jumps into like terms that you've never understood?
Yes.
It has happened to you?
It happens.
Because when she gets excited, I've watched you a lot. When she gets excited, now she starts throwing those terms, and then you're like, oh wow.
Wait, slow down.
And I think that was one of the most impressive things about you, like just the knowledge you have on the sport, right? And how to
Yeah.
describe things. Like, how long did that take you to like get to that level? Do you feel?
How long did it take me to get there?
Yeah.
Not too long. Let me tell you, when you're interested in something, you don't take too long to demystify what you do. I've never been a navigator. I cannot navigate for the world. I will lose you. You know how you're saying left, right? So I'd rather drive the adrenaline for driving and being in control. That's what is thrilling. So as you go along, you get to know what the terrain is all about. All terrains are different. So when you become more experienced, you know this terrain is like this, it's like that. I used to get nightmares when you wreck it today, it's dry, it rains at night.
Yeah.
Like why?
Yeah.
So you're like, no, this can't be happening. In fact, when the event coming up on Sunday, we are stressed because it's raining, and you're thinking, why? What? You need to stop raining on Friday. Please rain on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Then those 2 days, at least the ground dries. Being in a 2-wheel drive car, you're only 2 wheels. 4-wheel drive is much easier. But anyway, when we grow up, when we move on to the next stage, that's what I mean by growing up.
Yeah,
The 4-wheel drive. But in terms of learning, actually, we started with the 4x4. Let me just say from where we started and how we now got to where we are in terms of learning. We started 4x4 events with my husband. Being mechanics, both of us, we were just rally car, we were just thrilled by cars. So we got a Suzuki, cut it up, did a lot of things. Then we said, okay, let's start these events. So we started with the Rob's Magic events where they used to do the 4x4 terrains and all that. Like you tackle like a stage, then you go to the next one. From there, we got kind of bored. So we moved on to cross country. Then it was called cross country. Now it's called raid, where you're given a map and told you need to go through here in the shortest time possible. And the first one we did was in Nanyuki, where we actually that one of course was in the fastest time, but the number of circuits counted because they do like a 360.
Yeah.
So we did that one, and I remember when we did the third lap, I was tired like crazy. Aunt Trotton then, she was a marshal. She asked me, "Do you want to continue?" I just looked at my husband. "Do you want us to continue?" "Yeah, let's go." "Okay." So the time given laps is when you're inside, but you've done for your 4 laps. So we were another team. There was another lady driver. She stopped at the 3rd round. I went for the 4th one, but I won.
Yeah. Yeah.
I told her, "No, you should have just had endurance." Actually, rally is all about endurance, and that's why now we've learned how to read languages, how to go through mud, how to navigate, and of importance is how to time yourself, because timing is one of the most important things that you need to know in a rally car. And what happens? Yes, they give you what we call
Time card.
No, there's a time card. What's that extra time called? Why am I forgetting? Basically, you're supposed to finish a section in this particular time.
Yes.
But they give you, why am I forgetting that name? Where they get the 30 minutes.
After saying, like,
Penalty.
after saying she can't forget, she has a lot of knowledge.
I remember just now. I don't know why it's escaping my mind.
Look, it's just
So
fresh.
it's time bad.
Before you get time bad, there's
Yeah.
a certain time you're allowed to. You're given a certain time to do a section, and you should do it in that time. If you break, you're allowed like a 30-minute. That name again.
Yeah.
If you go over and above that, you're time bad. So your work, you really must have somebody who is timing you. Even during service, there's those service managers. Felix and Felix is our let me say our, because when we started rallying with Eric, we were in the same team. Then of course he went on ahead. Then because of reasons of funding and all that and sponsors, I took a break a bit. There's Felix, who is the CEO. There's actually my husband, who is our GM. He's actually called Gatimu, but we call him GM. He's
So
the
now
general
this is
manager.
you're describing your team now.
No, this is the team,
Yeah.
So yeah, what's the name of the team?
The team, no.
Eric Bengi rally.
There are many-
There are many rally teams, I feel like.
Okay, the team is Eric Bengi Rally Team.
like under your all
No,
under it's
no,
like
that's,
Yeah.
no, that's the head.
Yeah,
the
but
head
then
team.
us guys call ourselves Divas on Wheels.
Oh, nice.
So we have to be divas.
Yeah. Yeah, so
So-
you said you're CEO, and then
Yeah, and then there's the mechanics. The most important people there are the mechanics who, when you go break your shocks, they come and they're told, okay, now you have 30 minutes service time or 20 minutes, so you need to change whatever needs to be changed in that the shortest time possible, because you need to, so that you don't get a penalty if you go over and above the time.
what sort of penalty do you get? Like,
It depends on how long. If you take, it depends. Like if you exceed, there's some. How do you say? If you exceed your time by like, let's say 5 minutes, that's a lot of time. You get a 5-minute penalty.
oh, so it's just
So it
added
goes
to
in
your.
time.
So it's
Okay.
just deducted. So it just eats into your time.
Yeah.
So it pushes you backwards, of course,
Yeah,
instead of where you should be. Then there are things you must not do when you're starting what we call a jump start. There's a penalty for jump start. It's like
It's a
5
penalty
seconds
for getting to
30
the section
seconds.
before your time.
before your
Oh,
time.
really? So you have to be there like
If you get
exact. Everything
excited.
has to be
Exact.
Like that, yeah.
So you
your
can't just wait
navigator
on the
has to
side.
be on
You
point.
can't just wait on the side and be like, okay, is it almost our time?
Yeah.
Can we go now? Can we go now?
Your
Oh.
navigator will tell you, so you leave
Yeah.
and ask, so what time is our time? Okay, so we're not supposed to go in this time, let's do this. So yeah, it's a lot to learn, and it's very easy to learn. Yeah.
So in terms of, you said like rally is all about endurance, yeah, and you said you did 3 laps and you're very exhausted.
Yes.
I'm sure when you say 3 laps, we're not just thinking at the F1 lap, which is 1 minute 47 seconds.
Yeah, 1 minute
When you
10.
say 1 lap, how long is 1 lap?
It's like that time. It was like 45 minutes of rough track. There's nice smooth. Some is rough. Some is what. So it's 45 minutes. You come back. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah,
You go,
yeah.
And the more, of course, the more you do the laps, the better, the faster you become. Because the first time you're like, okay, so how are we going? Then you master it. The second time, of course, by the third time, the fourth time, you're faster.
So in terms of you getting tired, like fatigue, do you feel like that mental fatigue will cost you more than physical fatigue? Is it the same? Do you feel like it's different? Like,
What's harder? Is it you going through it mentally or your body?
Which one is harder?
Because like I feel like mental.
I think mental. Actually mental, because you really must concentrate.
Yeah, concentration is everything.
Concentration is everything. If you lose your concentration a bit, and that has happened to me, you're sunk.
Yeah.
When she says, these guys keep enjoying me at aim for the tree.
Oh yes, well, that's great. We're wondering, what does aim for the tree mean?
I know. We went to Voi, and the day before, of course, you do the recce and everything, but the day of the event, you know, when you're doing recce, you do it in your normal road car.
Yeah.
When you go in your rally car now, the notes my navigator was reading, kink. So I said, you were using those kinks. Let's go. So I've gone 140. So she tells me double caution, slow right. Now that's when slow is like almost a 90-degree. Slow right. Double caution. I was not concentrating. That's when now your mind comes in. I wasn't listening to what she's saying.
Yeah.
And you must listen. Yani capital M-U-S-T.
Yeah.
So I slowed down when we were 50 meters to that corner at 140. I slowed down. I took that corner at 120. I took the corner. The biggest mistake I did was step on the brakes. That's one thing you're told. If you're in a disaster, don't. You're told accelerate out.
When in doubt, when in doubt, flat out.
Yes, when in doubt, flat out. Exactly. Those are the words. I hit a tree smack in the middle.
Wow.
Like, if you even go onto our Facebook page, that picture is just there glaring sometimes at us. The car carved in like this.
You hug the tree.
Yeah, literally hug the tree. So we come out, my navigator says, can we move? I tell her, chick. So we get out, it was koi then. So we get out of the car, I look at it. Then she says, can we actually move? I told her, the radiator is damaged. You can't go nowhere. That particular rally, the organizers decided, for some reason, who we call the big boys, the bigger, the Flashes, the Boldies, the Kinati and Duncan, will start after us, the slowies. Don't just call us the slowies then. So we started first. Then the stage was stopped. I had to tow my car back to start. Then I left it and started glaring at everybody who was looking at me like this.
Wow.
Everybody who came to start was looking at me like this. Oh. But of course, you get over it after that. Then the car was repaired and we did the next event.
This is still your Toyota Levin.
Yes.
I feel like we did like a whole segment just like
begin with that.
I feel like this just requires a segment on its own.
Oh,
first of all, I feel like you were born into it. Like you were just born, and then this car was there as a third sibling.
You should have seen these guys when they were younger. What we used to do with them, so that they don't disturb us, we put them on top of a trailer, play there as we go to our stuff. So you have to be mentally prepared. You can't afford to be distracted. Now, when it comes to physical, again, you must be very fit. That's very important. One of the Kajiado rallies, I remember, but now I was just on an adrenaline high. Was it the fourth event that we did? I finished, we saw the flags for service.
Yeah.
I said crying. So my navigator was asking me, do you know how many events we've done without finishing? We don't even reach this service.
Finally
The first service. It's just the first service. So when I got to start, as she's saying, you need to wait for your time to check in. I was so excited. I got out of the car. Do you know, I was literally unconsciously, niliokotwa huko, for lack of a better word. And I went. And I was wondering, why are guys rushing towards me? I was unconsciously going into that direction. You're on adrenaline high. You're, what's it called? You're dehydrated. And you still want to do all those things at the same time. You come out and tell people, oh, I've gotten here. Where? I've never done that again.
They don't have, you guys don't have that juice, that pipe.
I know, we've not reached that.
Those
camelbags, we've not. You'll get there. I guess one of you guys will give us some.
For sure. We have like a sponsor in our rallies called Kenya. She normally does these
Oh,
things.
nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
I hope she's listening to us. Can
Wherever she is,
Wherever she
please,
is.
Asante
please
sana.
bless
Do
us.
something
Thank you.
about it.
I know, it's Mother's Day. Help all of us.
Yeah.
So, just going back to your how I've heard you talk about how finishing races for you is like that's something that you really really hold like dear, right?
Yeah.
As a rally driver, you hold it dear to your heart.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you just tell a common person, they ask you how many races you've done, and you tell them you finished, and you seem excited. To them, they're like, but you didn't win.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's like, but I finished.
Explain to us like why finishing is such a proud moment in a rally for someone like you as a rally driver.
As I said earlier, rally is very adrenaline high, and can be hard. It's hard and easy at the same time. So when you're given those terrains to do, you're not, in your head, you're not doing them to win, but to finish. Of course, the best thing that you do is finish. I mean, win, sorry.
Yeah.
If you win in your class, because there's a 4-wheel drive class, there's a 2-wheel drive, So if you win in your class, of course, that's an A1. But if I finish, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Because what that means is I'm coming in to finish this rally. So with that in mind, that actually pushes you to a winning position. Because what Eric keeps telling us and Dad, they keep telling us is relax, just relax, finish the event. Let's see where you'll be lying at the end of the day. Now, can you imagine the preparation you've done to your car? Then you go for recce. Recce is like, for argument's sake, let's say you're doing a 300 kilometer stretch or 200, depending. Organizers have their different mileages. You do that the day before, preparation has been put. You have brought your team all this way to come and watch you rally. Then your car breaks down in the stage. You don't finish. You cry.
Yeah.
Even men cry. Yeah. They go behind the... You don't see the film, but you can see, I want to
You can
cry.
see the pain.
Yeah, so when you think about all that, and then the disappointment on your fans, the people who are waiting for you to finish, so you feel, So when you get to that, you do the first competitive section, do service. You get out onto the second, you come and do service. If there's a third one, at the last one, you don't even want to see your car. You get out, you're so excited, you're high, adrenaline high and fun, and you're high on, excitement.
Yeah.
It's out of this world. I can't even explain. It's
So,
just out of this world.
Now looking back to that, like, because you see the amount of effort that your team actually puts in. What's the greatest feat that your mechanics have ever done in the space of like a 30-minute service period? Like,
For me,
what have they done? And you're like, what?
For the
and
living.
you guys,
The
yeah.
shocks.
And you were like,
The shocks, eh?
you're like,
the shocks
wow.
are the ones that are damaged like crazy for some reason.
So
Because you're told go.
What did
Just
they do exactly? Did they replaced like within a certain time period, like two of
Within
them,
the-
4 of them, like?
How many had I damaged? Like my two front shocks, then the control arms, they need to put it down in a certain time. You know how you take your car to the garage and wait for 2 days to just do shocks and arms?
There's a reason.
There is like, you need to do this in 15 minutes, shortest time possible. Remove the sun guard, do whatever, and they put the car back together. I think that's the biggest one they've ever done for me. I've seen other guys replacing gearboxes in 20 minutes, and they do it, and they come out and go within their time, and they go. It's different things for different people. But for me, I think the biggest thing they've ever done is shocks. My suspension always gives way. But anyhow, yeah.
Question to Tina. I'm sure, I mean, you've seen this Toyota living like throughout your entire life, right? If you're to say one dream car that you'd like your mom to drive, which car would it be?
One dream car. Oh my gosh. I have no. I think I would say an Evo 10 because I've seen Uncle Bengi driving the Evo 10. I've seen how it works.
Yeah.
I've seen it for so long that seeing mom inside it would just be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how big? You said the Levin is a 2-wheel drive, yeah? It's front wheel.
Yes.
So let's say you said 4-wheel drive is good, like you love the 4-wheel drive. How big of a difference? How big of an adjustment do you have to make if you're switching to a rear-wheel drive or to a 4-wheel drive, for example, as a driver? Like, what type of adjustments are you making in your mind when I'm approaching a corner, when I'm...
It's just the handling. Of course, the handling is totally different.
Yeah.
Handling is way different than a two-wheel. It handles better. Two-wheel drive at this rate, you might feel like it's light. Then when you get to the 4-wheel, it's heavier. But once you learn, basically it's just about learning the car. Just learning the car. It might take you a few rallies to learn it, but once you get the grip of it, you'll be good to go. And you can do so much more in a 4-wheel than in a 2-wheel. Because 2-wheel, as I was saying, if it rains, I feel like I'll flip.
Yeah.
But 4-wheel, I wouldn't even be worried. Because I know it can handle that matope, whatever matope it can handle and get out well, depending on how you drive again.
Yeah.
We boil down to the driver.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a better driving experience, I think. And yeah.
Are there tips from, because I'm sure, now she's doing autocross, yeah? Are there tips from autocross that you can give your mom that she doesn't get from
rally?
From rally?
Or does she give you tips?
Or does she give you, it's more of the other way?
I think more often than not, she gives me tips. Because autocross is like a small rally. Like most of the tracks are like 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers or something. It's like a small rally, so I mostly get tips from her.
Yeah. Autocross is a short circuit repeated many times, like 4 times. Now the rallies where you go, you do 30 kilometers, come back to service. You do 15, 16, depending, come back. Then you do another 45, then you do a 60. So the autocross is very good. Once you master the autocross, it's got loads of corners. A lot of corners and how to take them and the different types. Once you say in 1, 2, 3. Once you learn how to take corners in autocross, when you go now into the bigger event, it will be like a walk in the park.
Yeah.
It's a walk in the park. Because now it teaches you slow in, fast out, like our trainers, Eric and keep telling us. Slow in, fast out. You came in too fast. I didn't hear the engine. You need to rev it. You know? So those things you learn in autocross and now you
slow in, fast out.
Into the main event.
So like, for example, when we talk about F1 the other day, when we talk about how the Mercedes was porpoising and at I think it was like the 3rd sector of Albert Park. Yeah. Like there's a sector where, the corner was crazy. So for the team to counter that, they told him, dude, you need to really go slowly. Once you get, because what Hamilton wants to do is that he wants to really, he wants to attack the corner, but the car is very slow on the corner.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. At that times, you feel like you as a driver,
I can do it.
Like especially despite what you're telling
you, no, don't do it. But you're like, no, I can do it. Like the car feels okay.
Yes. Yeah, there are times you feel like there's that jump. I can take it like this. And you're told, go, that's a slow jump. Take it slowly, you'll mess your car.
And that's your navigator telling you.
Yes.
That's the only communication you
remember,
have.
MUST.
Capital.
You must listen.
Block.
Yes. So you just say, oh, man, okay, fine. So when you get to the next one and you're taking slow, take it fast, you're thinking, But anyway, even those jumps have fast jumps, slow jumps, medium jumps, all those double caution, triple caution, calvert. So unlike F1 where your team manager is, there's a communication. The goodness of these other events, you can do your maneuver.
It's just hardcore.
You can do your maneuver and you come and tell them, you know what I did? Unless now you have an onboard camera, which of course that's where everybody has gone. Then they'll see.
Or they can they can see as you're driving.
No.
Or they review after.
They replay after. So you're told, what are you doing here? Like, oh, okay,
But we're always told what happens in the car stays in the car.
So do you have an onboard camera when you race? Like
No. I get like for the last event that we did, I think the one that you saw for the Lionesses, one of the camera crews had come, just a friend of ours, he put for us the camera now on board. Then that's what we used.
So you obviously you review your own footage,
This
is like, it's like
so he sent it to us, so we're looking at it, we're saying, oh, okay, this could have happened, oh, okay, not too bad, blah, blah. Yeah.
And that basically just takes probably like a GoPro can work, Is that?
Yeah, that's what they use.
That's what they use. That's what they use,
The most durable.
So I'm sure you have it here, right?
Yeah,
You can
we
lend
have-
it to us.
We have our sponsor, Gakenya.
Yeah, we have the Kenya sponsored
Yeah.
videos.
Okay, sorry, I've
She'll-
forgotten.
hopefully she hears this again.
So next, I just wanna. I think Jeff, you should ask like what's the story of the Levine. Like that's. I
Wait,
feel like,
wait. I
Okay.
want to know. Does it take any special licenses to do rally?
Yes, you must have a competition license from the federation.
Okay, so how do you go about like getting one? Is there like special training, special courses, or today I can just decide let's just go to the federation? I know how to do this. I know how to do handbrake turn. Let's go.
Yeah, then you just go. Okay, you go to you first get affiliated to a club. So those clubs are run by the federation. So what you do is you identify the club that you want to join. If you go and tell your club I have a car, it's okay. The more the merrier. So whether you can do handbrake turns or you want to go and stop in the stage,
Yeah.
it's okay.
It's up to you.
But of course you learn from others and everything. So that when they give you your competition license, because that's all you need to take part, you're good to go. There's an Autocross license, there's a KNRC event, rally event. There's a 4x4 license, but now it depends on the kind of car that you want
To enter.
to enter.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you must have that license. Then insurance, of course. You know, all
Like
those-
5 different insurances.
Yeah.
This
The
car,
ones
this
that
one,
you
this one. Yeah.
take care of your risk, risk hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then also I think when we were speaking earlier, you had mentioned how you're into nurturing new talent like that's coming into the sport. Just tell us more about how like what you're up to right now and how you're helping nurture like the next generation.
That's of course as you get older, the best thing you can do to these younger people is just to teach
Pass on
them,
the torch.
pass on the torch, or teach them what you're doing, nurture their talent, because they have it. I mean, they've got it. Like now she can't wait to turn 18 in July so that she can kick me out of my car, and I don't know where she wants me to go now. So once that happens, you see, I'll pass it on to her. There are little kids who really want to do these events, and you don't have to be a rally driver. You don't have to come in as a rally driver. You can even come in as an official. You can be a marshal. You can be a controller. You can sit in the HQ, you know, maybe with the tracking guys, just tracking the cars. You can be a scrutineer. There are very many things that you can do to get into the sport. And the younger people we see coming up, the more exciting it is. Because we eventually, hopefully not tomorrow, we'll need to leave the space for them. Of course, we'll rally with them, but if you reach somewhere, we'll say, we can't keep up with this guy.
Yeah.
Then let me just go do something else. And right now, what is happening, Eric Gatimu, Felix, you know, the whole crowd, and Mutuma, there's a lot of people who have come together and said, this is our academy, this is what we want to do for the children. Let's teach them how to do this thing, which is what is happening with her. She's gone a few times, as I told you earlier, with them doing recce.
Yeah.
Now that she's in the Maggie bag for Autocross, she has driven with Eric in the little Maggie bag. She has thrown him in the bush a couple of times. It's come with a lot of scratches. Luckily, they've not been given a hospital bill.
Yeah.
And he'll tell her, take this corner like this, do this like this.
Slow in, fast out.
Slow in, fast out is the best. But before she learned that slow in, fast out, she'd thrown him in the bush. She's gotten annoyed and said, okay, you do what you want now.
Yeah.
How do we get out of here? So she's confused.
I've gotten stuck in the sand.
Yeah, she's going to start, says, that's what are you doing? You see, those kind of things she learns. So she knows that next time, this is what, I must not do this. Same to his young son, Ian. The same thing, he's also learning. Ian is
8 years old.
8.
Yeah.
He's also coming up and being taught. And what happens with that young talent, as they grow older, we hope to, like now the guys there's a team that has come and put in the junior racing team, who are currently have gone to Croatia for those rallies. They were in Sweden the other day.
Oh, nice.
Okay, one guy maybe. But they've picked those, how many are they? 8, because driver navigator, and put them into trainings for them to better. Maybe, hopefully, one day we get to the WRC level where they'll be noticed by those guys, and they take them up and can drive their cars. So that's the way we want to go. There's the little Kiana. Kiana has been racing since I think she was 6. She's 10 now,
Nice.
a little girl. It's awesome. And then there's Maxine, who was in motocross bikes racing. Now she outgrew motocross. Now she came into autocross, and she's really coming up sharply.
She's even in rally.
Yeah.
She's actually the only female driver in rally right now.
Right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and we want, of course, to see more ladies coming up. We did, the Lionesses did a small event. It was big, small, big. Well, the other day where we put a couple of ladies out there with cars. Let's do this against each other. It was a lot of fun. That's why now they navigated. There's a lot of talent out here, and people who are rally enthusiasts or car, motor, who can come out and get taught what to do, where they can incorporate themselves, so that we don't leave a gap. The worst thing that you can ever do in this world is hold on to what you're doing and not pass it on. You create a gap, but we don't want a gap. We just want continuity.
Yeah.
So that way, even the WLC, there's continuity here. So it will be, that's the best thing that could happen to anyone.
So before we just go into the ladies in the sport, and what you guys are doing for just the female drivers and people who want to get into it, how does one get into this academy, for example? So let's say I have a young one who's like, has like an interest. Like, how do I get to bring them to you or to the academy, and like I want them to start rallying?
Just bring them to follow our team.
Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just bring them to follow. We'll see where we put them on the side where they
Take
can
them in
learn.
as our own.
Yeah, that's a word. Just bring them fast, then we see what we can do from there. With the cars, they'll be shown how to sit in a car. When they're ready, they'll drive. It's just walking the journey with them.
Yeah.
It's not even also only driving. If they're even interested in being a mechanic or being a marshal or anything, we'll help them get there.
Navigate their way around. Yeah.
So, ladies in the sport, I feel like this is like you're part of a team that's very enthusiastic in trying to showcase that there are actual women drivers, or there are women who can drive, or there's space for women in the sport, right? And I believe you're part of an organization called Ladies in
The
Lionesses, yeah.
Rally,
So basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So how did that start? Like, what was the drive behind that? How did that start? And at this point, do you feel like you're making progress and in trying to achieve that goal?
Yeah. Let me first surprise you. In 2010, between 2012 and 2013, we used to be like 20 ladies in the rallies. Those are the days that we used to have 60 entrants in an event. Now, as guys for two-wheel, let me just go back to our dear two-wheel. Because they start with the four-wheel drive guys, then they rank you depending on your speed. So to two-wheel, to Kouko Nyuma, do you know those guys finished one section, came and found us still sitting there waiting for the section to start? That's how crazy it is for the two wheels. And most now of the ladies are almost clumped up together because of this, what they call a speed, but we were moving upwards. We were all seated in one corner. There's a picture we've actually taken of them. And now when I look at where we are with the ladies in the sport, and then it's very sad, because somewhere they dropped off along the way because what we had said earlier, maybe because of sponsors or one reason or the other. But what happened, the Lionesses, there's women in motorsport.
Yes.
And there's the Lionesses as well. We all incorporate together. Now, most of us are actually officials in these events, most of the ladies. What happens, a few ladies are left as navigators. Up until Maxine came as a driver, most of them are navigators, Kina Lynette, Kina Tuta, Kina active per se. Now, what the Lionesses did, there is Lisa, who is the founder of Lionesses. She actually sat somewhere in the field with one of the CSs, actually CS Amina, and we were discussing, how come there are no ladies in this sport? That's a WRC last year. So they were conducting a section, so they were thinking, how come there are no ladies in this event? So they go chit chat. So Lisa gets this wild idea in her head. Why? So she puts together a group of her friends. We learn about it, they talk about it, so we get into it and work together as a team. And she says, let's organize an event. And they slowly we walked them through what does it take to do an event. This is what you need. A few training rallies were had. Guys brought out their cars, gave them the cars. Actually, even thanks to them, that's how my Levin came from. Tunasemanga juu ya mawe. That's how now it came from there into now back into the rally.
Yeah.
And they actually organized an autocross event, not autocross per se, a training rally at Kasarani, where we all took part. It was all lady organized, from the officials to the last marshal, to even the security people. So that now you have to put in a few men for security.
Yeah.
But it was basically a lady organized event which went very well. That's when now again we realized there are actually very many ladies seated out here who can come back into the rally world. Because their cars are still there. They say, now I do I bring out my car, what do I do? You know? But if we can pass the message across, maybe to the corporates and we partner, we can do a lot. We can do a lot.
Now that you mentioned corporates, I feel like people really don't understand how expensive this sport is. Like,
just bring the car.
And every time you mention sponsors or whatever, or partners, people just think, this one wants money, you know. But I feel like
they do a lot more for you as a driver, as a team. Or is it just they go in the car, we're going to sponsor the car, we're going to sponsor you as a driver, we're going to sponsor you as a team, or how does the levels of sponsorship work?
Let me call it partnering. Let's not call it sponsorship. Because he said, Mary, it looks like you're just going to ask for money. It's like they're just going to put money into a pit. No. We look at it like a win-win for both the corporate and us guys. We want to have my fun. I want my thrill in my car. So I come to you, I tell you, so why don't we partner? Let me be your moving billboard. You put your posters all over in my motif. Of course, but apart from this, what we call the sponsor space, the main sponsor for the federation is left for the front doors. Can put you on the roof, can put on the bonnet, back wing. Kila mahali, me, I'm okay. Just leave for me like a screen with my divas on wheels, and the sides for the the doors for the main federation sponsors. Then you get your visibility. Because what do you want at the end of the day? You want your visibility, you want your names mentioned. And if this young is here, me, I'll drive my car, then these guys will go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, and make a lot of noise there. Then the newspaper guys will get them to come. They'll being ladies, I know, they get a lot of airtime. You get to do a lot of interviews. So you see, I'll mention you as a corporate. Like let's say, for example, box to box. Say, okay, we're sponsoring through Kenya, blah, blah. I'll go, when we're doing the nation, I'll say, or Instagram, box to box, I'll just keep throwing your name, they run with us, they backed us up, a lot of stuff.
But also now on your end, this money that comes, there are certain things that I need. I need tires, I need suspension, I need... Like when you start breaking it down for you, it's like, I need this money for... it's not...
For shocks, for putting the team together, because we all need, of course, the logistics part. There's a logistics part of it. There's a mechanical bit of it. There's the refreshments part of it. And hospitality.
When you enter the races, do you have to pay for entering races?
Yes. Yes, there's entry fee. There's entry fee. All events have entry fee. That covers that. So for what you've given me, if we come back and say, calculate it or quantify it in terms of visibility, then we get those people who translate now the Instagram bit, the social media bit, the newspaper bit. Now, how much vis-a-vis what I've given, what have I gotten? And believe you me, it's a lot. It's way a lot. Already a caption in the newspaper, things like how much to even do an advert in the paper. It varies depending on the size of space you want. So and I'm giving you that for free. Right? For free.
So speaking of newspapers, there's this thing that so back in the day, like with rallies, Obviously, we didn't have social media then. I don't know if you can relate. I don't know if you've ever been in at a time when there's no social media. But but everything used to be in the newspaper, right? Like you used to get all your stats in the newspaper and stuff. Like you go that last page of the paper and everything is there. Like if you want to know the information from yesterday, you have to go to the newspaper. Can you just describe to us just briefly how different it is in how you're getting information about the rally when it's happening and other drivers, because you want to know what other drivers are doing, compared to when you started?
When we started, what? Following the rally
like you
the
were
newspaper.
That
was in the 80s, man.
Just tell us, how different is it? Like,
Let me tell you. That newspaper.
Just playing FIFA now. That's the lead one.
Those newspaper, Nation used to open like this. Me, I was a big fan of Shekameta. For some reason, I have no clue why. But my mom actually put us up into all this because she used to make us go and watch those guys. So you open your paper like this. You kick in, you see Kina, you Hakankune, Shekameta, Beyond Waldigard, Vic Preston, all those, even Kina Patrick Njiru. So all those guys have been entered. The names are on one side. Then day one is here, which has maybe 3 or 4 sections, depending. Then this is the timings they'll do. So we used to follow. But unfortunately, that news used to get to us the next day.
Yeah.
And like now, the best thing about now, real time. You have, so Flash has done it in how long? Eric has done it in how long? Okay, there's real time information you're getting. Yeah. Now that's the difference between now then and now. Yeah. But there are those newspapers I used to like, just keep them like this. And there you touch my paper. I'll need to keep it for a week, because those things used to go for a week. I'll need to keep it for a week. I'll need to follow this person. There's a DNF, he didn't finish, this one didn't start. And you're, this one, okay, fine, Kando. So you know the people who are remaining. Yeah, it was awesome.
So let's say now that's you reviewing newspaper and seeing like what people did previously. Now you're getting the information digitally, right? But for example, we were talking about when you review your own footage as a driver. The one thing about the sport is that you're reviewing footage of a place you would go back to tomorrow, right? Or do you go back to it? Because like, for example, F1, I'm going over in a circle in this same circuit. Yeah. But like today you're doing 30 kilometers here, tomorrow you're doing 25 kilometers there, like things like those. Yeah. But when you're reviewing your footage, you're reviewing at like a stage where you are not going to go back to. How does that help you? How does reviewing footage help you, considering you're not going back there? What are you looking out for? Are you looking out for my reaction time? Are you looking out for
improve a corner?
Yeah.
Yes, all those things. You're looking at all those things basically. Basically, it's more of all corners. All the corners in this today will be there tomorrow in the next event. Mm-hmm. So you're seeing how did I take this corner? Was I slow in, fast out? Was I outward, then come in, take the corner at the apex, and out I go? How did I take off? How did I take that jump? They're always, all events have medium jumps, slow jumps, culverts, you name it. How did I go through that? How did I go through a river crossing? How did I go through? So with that footage, it helps you almost like visualize your next event. Yeah. Such that if you go and find the same what you found here, there are rocks. Kajiado is just rocky. Yeah. Then Mombasa, of course, sand. Yeah. What else? Then
on that soil that you can bury your car inside it. Yeah.
Wait. What is
fresh? Sorry, not Sorry.
Hata kama ni partnering.
It's called fresh. Fresh means the big guys have come with their cars. The soil they've made the soil nice and loose. You come in, you're just sliding all over the place like this, but you must, if you hit your brakes there, you're sunk. You're done. Your rally ends there.
Are these rallies organized by the same people all through, I mean, it's normally different organizers.
No, it's different clubs.
So now that's the question I was leading up to. Are there certain people you know for a fact? This one is trying to trick me here.
Yeah. There are those events of Sikinion. You do a Sikinion event, Ioni rocks. Nakuru the same. They Rift Valley Motorsports Club. They also do theirs in Rocky. If you come to other clubs like Kenya Motorsports Club or Rally Sports Club, or because then they hold them around Kajiado, around. They've tried to move around. They've done Meru, but mostly they used to take them back to Kajiado. So Kajiado, you know how the terrain is. Mombasa is standard. You can do Voi, whether you do Voi or Mombasa, that one. Yeah. You know, there's Eldoret. The Nanyuki, Nanyuki is lovely. Oh, that one is just nice. Theirs is nice and smooth. Yeah. It's not as rocky as these other ones. Yeah. Then, which other club? Various clubs take them to different places. Yeah, so, yeah, we always knew Sikunion had they hold the events as the last event on the calendar of the season. Yeah. So they were always the hardest for some reason. They were always the hardest. I remember one they held in, can't remember where, but my CS1, I got stuck in sand. I couldn't move. You know, now once the stomach of your bottom of your car is touched, the stomach, it's touched like you can't do anything. Yeah. You're stuck. You can't do anything. There's also one in Kajiado, which reminds me. Now, another thing, let me just jump in. Another thing in rally, never look at the person in front of you who has been placed in front of you. Until you shake that guy or you shake that chick, you're in trouble. Remember the Stella Masharia, forgive me, Stella, you're my friend. She was ahead of us. So when we started, I told the navigator, this Stella's dust. I can't even have to catch her. Yeah. Right. She landed on top of an anthill. Wow. I swung like this. Then I saw them, they've gone. I was just doing this. So never look at the person in front of you. Just look to finish that section. Then you go to the next one. Polite, adrenaline, chini, kidogo. Yeah. So it's all different terrains. All clubs have all different terrains.
And Tina, how do you feel like learning terrains is one of the more difficult things, or learning how to interpret like what you're going to do with the car? Is that one of the more difficult things you've had to learn, or there's something else that was just...
What was harder to learn? I'll start with the hardest to the easiest.
I think for the terrains, it's... How do you say?
No, just your experience, your first two experiences.
Okay, from what I have experienced, the ones I have done, for Nakuru, I remember was very sandy. Also remember, Nakuru, I was very excited because it was my first one. Remember when we went for the practice heat, I was told, go slowly, just finish fast. I didn't listen. So I went fast. So to the first corner is a distance, so you literally flat out on the knee. So you have to slow down before, because it's like almost a 90-degree corner. And on the sides is literally banks of sand. So I went too fast in, got stuck in the sand. I was upset with myself. The marshals came and had to drag me out. I ended up facing the other way. Wow. So I had to turn around and then go. So thankfully it was just the practice heat, and it didn't really count to the last one, but now I really learned from that lesson. So yeah, and so there was that sandy terrain. Kasarani was very nice, and I like Kasarani, to be honest. It's very nice and smooth and fast, and I love the corners. And what I'm saying, in the Magi bag, when I floor it, once you start getting used to it, when you're going flat out, it kind of feels like you're not moving. Like you're seeing everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Went to school,
Smart.
Then in Kasarani, there was a bit of sand, but not too much that you're gonna get stuck. So I was kind of drifting at the same time. Yeah. So it was really fun. Yeah. And I went to Twisty Corner for the practice where I threw Uncle Bengi in the bush. And there was also a lot of sand there, and I also got stuck in the sand, and Uncle Bengi was very annoyed with me. But I learned from all of those experiences, and it's learning the terrain, learning how to maneuver the car in different terrains is very crucial, because different terrains require different driving styles. Whether you're gonna go faster to the corner, slower into the corner, whichever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you learn to listen.
Yeah.
So you learn to listen.
So you said like you like telling her things and then she listens and she does them, yeah? So when you're in the car, do you call her mom?
Yes, I do.
They still respect you.
You have to say mom, I guess.
They still respect.
Saying Caro sounds so weird. Natural.
I think she'll even be like, who are you calling?
She'll stop the car.
Who are you calling?
That one is not what it means to be Florida.
We're going home now.
Even if she can't move in the seatbelt, she'll find a way to So yeah, I still have to call her mom, and it's still fun telling her what to do, especially when she's going kind of slow. And then, and then I tell her to kanyaga.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
You said you've never navigated.
Would you navigate for
Would you
her?
ever, yeah, exactly.
Nope.
Why not?
Okay, well, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it'll give you more adrenaline for you navigating for her. Because you can't see what she's doing.
Let me tell you the worst thing of being a driver, then you get to the navigator seat. Hey.
You're pressing the brakes.
How are we going? This one, how is she take it? You know, but I don't know. I'll see. I'll figure it out. I'll know what to do.
We'll be looking up instead of reading the pace notes.
Yeah. You're too fast. You're too slow.
Kwanza, that's another thing.
Yeah.
I think having experienced being in a road car with her teaching me how to drive, I'm not sure how she would be in the navigator seat, because you're going kiasi tu like 50 kph. She's like, apana, brake. Apana, wait.
I think that's all matters. You're going too fast. I'm only doing 10. No, you're moving too fast. Why are the windows closed? Open all the windows.
Exactly.
You don't have your license yet. No, man.
That's what my mom, it got to a point where I was like, I can't drive you, mom. because whenever we drove slowly, she's like, what time will we reach? When I drive quickly, she's like,
No, you're going too fast.
she has a phrase, speed that thrills kills. So I'm like, hey, so now what I mean, which speed are we going at? It got to a point where if I'm driving, it's just slow, like I couldn't raka.
You guys will have to agree with me on this. The longer you drive, the more experience you get in a car, and the more you learn how to handle a car in whatever situation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I tell you to go slowly.
Tell mom to take you to Finland.
Yeah.
3 years
To get a license. And
you get your first, I think it's FIA1 or stage 1 driving license is an FIA driving license.
So that's where you're going in? 3 years.
Taking
Wow,
notes.
that's a long time.
But
It
they
takes a
take you
long time.
through all the terrains,
Yeah.
skid pad.
There's a reason why whenever you used to look at those races, Scandinavian people were
Yeah,
always
it's
at
always
the
like
top.
Fin-
Always
Fin-
Finland,
Fin-
Sweden.
Ah,
Finland,
yeah,
Sweden,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
There's a
that's
reason
right,
why.
yeah.
And like all Finnish, or everyone from Finland, their second favorite hobby is motorsport.
Is
Or
motorsport,
they're doing
yeah.
some kind
Yes.
of
So
motorsport.
you'll find someone like
Yes.
Kimi Räikkönen, he does F1
Yeah.
from February to November,
Then
and
he
then in
finishes.
December he's in a WC car doing something
Do
else.
something.
So those are like pure drivers.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
There's one thing that like us guys as box to box, we love doing. First of all, we love sports, so we always want to do different types of things.
Yeah.
So the one thing that we really would love to be a part of is to come to one of these rallies, and we're actually part of the team, right? So now
Like,
let's
want
say
to
I
be
come
involved.
with this crew.
Yes.
I come with Josh. I come with Tino. I come with Ivy. We
Kenya.
come with our sponsor, our partner, Kenya.
Kenya.
What roles are you giving us? If we come 6 people, what roles are you giving us? And describe the roles. Specifically scrutineering and fireproofing.
like
Those two
just-
have really, I want to understand what they are.
Fireproofing.
Yeah,
Oh, fireproof. Okay. Now I get it.
yes.
Now, scrutineering is where you bring your car, you bring your kit, and it's checked and certified safe to enter the rally. Actually, the number one thing we talk about in rally is safety all the time. Your helmets, your shoes.
What are some of the things that you actually have to scrutinize? Like, just give us like 5 of the main ones. Like, you have to.
Besides now, okay, in the car,
Yeah.
First of all, your seats must be validated, must be homologated and not expired. But of importance actually is the fire extinguisher in the car and what we call an anti-roll.
The cage.
No. Well, of course, the cage, you must have that
Yeah.
and certified at that to race. There's the anti-roll. There's a ball in the line of fuel that must be there, such that if you take a roll, your fuel stops.
Stops.
Blowing. Prevents your car from blowing up. Then the fire extinguisher. That's very important. We've watched a car. I think it's 2015. I can't quite remember. Burn. Burn. The drivers jumped out in the nick of time and the car caught fire. And probably it's just one electrical fault here or there. Now, after that, let's now come into the crew. You need your helmets, you need your balaclavas, fireproof, you need your overall suits, which are also fireproof. You need your innerwear, which should be fireproof, such that if anything ever happens, by the time you can remove your overall, and by the time you get in, you don't get burnt. Socks as well, shoes, and gloves for the driver. Those are some of the critical things that we look at when you're coming to rally in terms of safety. Those ones are a must. If you don't have, sorry, you can't take part in the event. Yeah.
So, okay, now back to rules. Like, what rules are you giving us? So, like, now we've come.
Now,
yes.
There's always rules for you guys.
Yeah.
So you guys with your cameras, and you said how many people are going to be?
Let's say
you guys.
Let's say we come 10 of us, but 2 we just dedicate 2 to camera. So now you have 8. You have 16 hands and eyes.
So now we'll count you. First of all, of importance is the camera, guys, because you guys need to catch us in the bush.
Yeah.
So we shall send you out into the bush.
Yeah.
You stay there.
Yeah.
You get those shots, and then you look for a nice corner where you see when the car is coming. You've taken the shot, a jump, all those things. Those are exciting.
Dust and sun.
The exciting shots. Yeah.
Those exciting shots that the fans like to see. Then the rest will be fans now. Then we call them my fans.
Yeah.
You go out there, you are our fans. We can be kind enough to give you T-shirts. You're burning our name and all that. But there's always room for more people to come, because you're only allowed a certain number of people at service. So service is just the action of sorting out the car, making sure it's okay. Those ones we can catch with our little cameras and give you guys to edit and do all that.
Yeah.
But there are media privileges also. There are media privileges for guys who do media. So you can talk to the organizers, so you're allowed into service to
take
capture.
Pictures.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to Yeah, you can even come in as media. We'll see. Okay, to be honest, that part I've never thought about it, so I don't even know how to go about that one. All I know is we've been into the bush with cameramen who take photos and videos and come and edit it for the team. Then and maybe talk to a couple of other people also. You can also take for them. You never know. Yep.
All right, that's cool. So just since we're about to wrap up, I would like to know what type of support is Tina getting that obviously you should have gotten earlier
when you started.
Yeah.
From my folks.
Not even from my folks. Even if it's just there's some even lessons that you learned. I'm sure there's a lesson that you've learned later in life in terms of how the car. I don't know. Is there anything that you're
training actually?
Yeah.
The training. I wish I got more training. Better take it seriously.
Yes, mom.
Yeah, I wish I got more training. We got a bit of training from Frank Tundo, from Kaltundo, just a bit, not too much. But how she's doing it is that she's getting probably every other weekend, which improves now her driving during the autocross.
Yeah.
Unlike us guys who just got into the car and went. Maybe that's why I was hitting those trees at one time because
hugging trees.
I didn't know what hugging trees. Yeah, basically it's just more of the training actually, because the rest you learn on your own as you go along. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. And Tina, how do you feel like this is something you are not forced to do? You love it for what it is. Like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it comes naturally because I think it also has something to do with growing up, going to all of these events and everything. Seeing both mom and dad are mechanics, so I'm also interested I was like directed in the mechanical field. That's actually what I want to study in university. And going out and seeing how much fun it is, how much it comes naturally. And I remember there's even a time, there was a time when I didn't want mom to continue to rally because this was when I was a kid, because I was afraid she'd die.
Now you say it.
Yeah. So, but then as I grew older and I saw like all the safety measures and everything that were put in place, I saw, okay, this thing is fun, and because of all the safety measures, it's really hard for something to happen. And yeah, so now I want to go into this field.
And there's also the older sister who's also very interested in motorsport. It's just that she's out of town now, so she can't take part in the sports, and we'll plan it better. Maybe she can come over. When we had planned that when I go back into driving, she'll be the navigator. Then as we go along, then maybe when she's driving, she can be, they either switch seats, they'll agree amongst themselves who will drive and who will navigate. But she'd also like to be a navigator and learn all these things, because we taught them from when they were in their diapers. So even her, she's pretty interested. So when she comes to Nairobi, what we've done is we've made her our social media person. We give her content, she posts it all over. And she was at least the last event we did, the Lionesses Rally, she was there. She took part as well. But yeah, well, I guess when I retire, I'll just, since I can't navigate, she'll be the navigator.
So lastly, I would like you guys to tell us some of the events that we should look forward to, that you guys are definitely going to take part in, and the ones where we can have Josh be the refreshments guy for
your waters.
For your waters.
Since you don't have
the sideline guy.
Like Coca-Cola, Maggi, Tembo Maggi.
And hot dogs that Kenya has sponsored.
In three cool boxes.
Yes.
There's the one on Sunday coming up, and you guys are coming. No permission. We're not asking. It's a Sikh Union event on Sunday, being held at Twisty Corner, which is the next one.
So that is Mombasa.
Autocross. Those are actually the ones that we're taking part in. They're not too. The pocket, let me call them the pocket-friendly ones, are the autocrosses for now. Then after that will be the Mombasa one. After Mombasa, this is April. So April, in May will be Mombasa event, autocross. Then after that is RSC. But the big one which is coming up, which I know we're not taking part, but everybody needs to be here, since I heard you guys like going to the bush.
Yeah.
Is WRC. We must engage. We all must go.
Are there rules that you get as someone who's in that field?
Rules?
Yeah.
Yes, now I end up being a scrutineer.
Or at WRC?
When I'm not driving,
yeah,
I'll do this. I do the scrutineering.
Even at WRC, because I know that's a bit more strict in how they let even marshals and stuff like that.
Yeah. But they know tough, so they have to work with us.
Yeah.
So
also, us guys can also be marshals. Yeah, we just apply early. Can we?
I don't think you'll be marshals this year, but when you
so
start
that has already been
sorted out. However, moving forward,
you can always,
depending of course on your interest and the club that you affiliate yourself with, you can always put yourself somewhere, place yourself somewhere, even with media, whatever, you name it, you can place yourself somewhere.
Oh, that's cool.
That's super cool.
So that's our episode of Athlete Focus, Mother's Day edition. We are very, very honored and privileged to have had Tina and the star of the show, Carol, because
Who's
it's
the
Mother's
All
Day.
around.
It's Mother's Day.
Yeah, because of that. Yes.
Okay, you can pass the torch, then
Pass
she can.
the torch, then she
Okay,
can
now
do
Tina is
the
the star of the
focus.
show. Thank you guys so much for coming. It's been a pleasure, and hope to have fun with you guys.
Again,
Yeah.
hope to see you again as well.
Asanteni, thanks for having us. It's been loads of fun.
Yeah.
Asante, see you in June. No,
See you on
if not
Sunday.
Sunday. We'll see you on Sunday, actually.
Cut.
Yes.